Melissa Arnett Elliott, known globally as Missy Elliott, has lived a life of profound triumph and unimaginable struggle. Born on July 1st, 1971, in Portsmouth, Virginia, her childhood was marred by violence, poverty, and trauma that would leave lasting scars. Despite these early challenges, Missy rose to become one of the most innovative and influential figures in hip-hop and R&B. Her music reshaped the industry with futuristic sounds, inventive lyrics, and groundbreaking music videos. Yet behind the fame, Elliott faced battles that tested her resilience, from domestic violence and childhood abuse to industry discrimination and a severe autoimmune disease. Her journey is not just about fame or talent, it's about survival, reinvention, and an unbreakable spirit. Every success, every album, and every performance is imbued with the lessons she learned from a life that demanded courage, creativity, and perseverance. Childhood of fear and violence. Missy Elliott's early years were steeped in fear and instability. Her father, Ronnie, a Marine with a violent temper, frequently assaulted her mother, Patricia, creating a home filled with terror. Basic necessities were absent, and the family lived in poverty, with mice roaming freely through their home. Young Missy slept beside a pot to manage the lack of proper sanitation, while daily beatings compounded the trauma. Her father's unpredictable rage was compounded by incidents of sexual abuse from a cousin, teaching Missy at an early age that survival meant silence. These experiences instilled deep mistrust and resilience. Despite the horrors, her mother's perseverance provided a model of strength. Missy's formative years were marked by the tension between fear and survival, shaping her ability to endure hardship. This foundation would later inform her approach to life, relationships, and her artistic voice, turning trauma into fuel for creative expression. Escaping an abusive household. The violence in the Elliott household escalated over time, reaching a point where Missy witnessed her father attempting to murder her mother with a gun. This pivotal moment forced family intervention and eventually led to Missy and her mother fleeing the home. Though escaping brought freedom, it introduced a new layer of fear as Missy worried constantly about potential retaliation from her father. These experiences left her hyper-aware, cautious, and intensely protective of those she loved. Living with the aftermath of trauma created a lingering anxiety that would follow her into adolescence and adulthood. Despite the fear, the escape also revealed her mother's strength and inspired Missy to develop her own inner resilience. The early lessons of vigilance, endurance, and self-reliance became essential traits that guided her through both personal and professional challenges in the years ahead. Music as refuge and early career struggles. Music became Missy Elliott's sanctuary from her chaotic reality. While other teenagers navigated ordinary challenges, she immersed herself in performance, writing, and dreaming of stages filled with fans. By the early 1990s, her talent began to attract attention, yet the music industry imposed a different form of violence, exclusion based on appearance. For her first recorded single, executives replaced her in the music video with a lighter-skinned model, signaling that her talent alone was insufficient to achieve recognition. Industry rejection compounded feelings of inadequacy rooted in childhood trauma, but instead of surrendering, Missy used this adversity to fuel her determination. These experiences strengthened her resolve to assert herself creatively, challenging systemic biases while maintaining a commitment to authenticity. Early struggles with acceptance and representation shaped her approach to artistry and advocacy, reinforcing a lifelong lesson that creativity and self-expression are powerful tools for survival and empowerment. Breakthrough with Super Duper Fly. By 1997, Missy Elliott had broken through industry barriers with her debut album, Super Duper Fly, produced in collaboration with Timbaland. Her futuristic beats, innovative lyrics, and visual creativity transformed hip-hop and R&B, challenging conventions and setting new standards for music videos. Audiences embraced her work, validating her years of perseverance and defiance against industry prejudice. Despite critical acclaim, this period brought immense pressure to maintain innovation and exceed expectations with each subsequent project. The intensity of production schedules, creative demands, and public scrutiny took a toll on her physical and mental health. This era highlighted the paradox of success. Achievement offered recognition, but required sacrifices that could endanger the very person it celebrated. Missy's determination to remain true to her vision amid these pressures solidified her reputation as a trailblazer who merged artistic genius with personal resilience. The physical toll of fame. The relentless pace of Missy Elliott's career began to exact a severe toll on her health. Long studio hours, perfectionism, and physical exhaustion led to high blood pressure, tremors, and chronic stress. Maintaining her position as an innovator in a competitive industry required pushing her body and mind to extremes, often ignoring warning signs. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise became luxuries she could not afford, and the constant demand to outpace peers left her nervous system overloaded. These challenges mirrored the intense pressures of her childhood, reinforcing patterns of self-reliance and endurance under duress. The juxtaposition of success and vulnerability became increasingly apparent. The very platform that elevated her artistry also threatened her well-being. Missy's experience underscores the invisible costs of fame and highlights the resilience required to balance creativity, public expectation, and personal health. Diagnosis of Graves' disease. In 2008, Missy Elliott's health crisis reached a critical point when she was diagnosed with Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder attacking her thyroid. Symptoms included tremors, rapid weight loss, bulging eyes, and loss of motor control, making even basic tasks impossible. For an artist whose career depended on precision, this was devastating. Graves' disease forced her to withdraw from public life for nearly a decade, disrupting her career and creating a profound sense of helplessness. The diagnosis compounded existing trauma, echoing the loss of control she had experienced in childhood and industry setbacks. Missy faced the challenge of surrendering to a body that no longer obeyed her commands, requiring immense patience, adaptation, and the acceptance of vulnerability. This period reshaped her understanding of strength, emphasizing the importance of resilience, self-care, and reliance on supportive relationships. Coping with loss and personal grief. While battling Graves' disease, Missy Elliott endured the tragic loss of Aaliyah, a close friend and creative partner. Their bond transcended professional collaboration, resembling sisterhood, and Aaliyah's death in a plane crash left Missy grief-stricken. The emotional blow exacerbated her physical decline, as she could not allow herself to properly grieve while managing severe illness. This period highlighted the interplay between personal trauma and health, demonstrating how unresolved grief and stress can magnify physical challenges. Despite the despair, Missy found ways to honor Aaliyah's memory, embedding her influence into her work and maintaining a connection through ritual and remembrance. The experience underscored the resilience she had cultivated from childhood, showing her capacity to navigate loss while gradually reclaiming agency over her life and artistry. Recovery and reclamation. Recovery from Graves' disease was slow and arduous, requiring radiation treatment, dietary adjustments, and rehabilitation of motor skills. Missy had to relearn basic tasks and accept support, an experience that tested her identity as a fiercely independent artist. Over time, her tremor subsided, handwriting returned, and energy gradually improved. By 2015, she made a triumphant return with a surprise Super Bowl halftime performance, signaling her resilience and refusal to be silenced by illness or trauma. Recovery taught her humility, patience, and the importance of self-care, while reinforcing the lessons of perseverance instilled in her childhood. This phase of her life illustrates the human capacity for adaptation and renewal, demonstrating that vulnerability can coexist with strength and that survival can transform into inspiration for others. Legacy and continued influence. Today, Missy Elliott, at 53, exemplifies triumph over adversity. She manages her Graves' disease through disciplined diet, exercise, and mindfulness, turning health maintenance into a form of meditation. Her career continues to influence younger artists, especially women navigating an industry still rife with bias. Missy's journey, from childhood abuse, industry rejection, and severe illness to global stardom and continued innovation, reveals a life defined by resilience, creativity, and unyielding determination. Her music, mentorship, and personal story underscore the transformative power of perseverance. The Out of This World Tour celebrates not just her artistry, but her survival, marking each performance as a victory over the demons and challenges that tried to silence her. Missy Elliott remains a symbol of endurance, innovation, and the unbreakable spirit of an artist who refused to be defined by her hardships.